Well, hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeffkin coming to you from the Minecraft Vanilla server with the Survivor recap for this week. Now, a lot of cool stuff happened this week. Basically, you started out with people kind of scrounging around because they didn't know what was going to happen. They're on the chopping block. They're on the bottom. You got Peter over on the Brains tribe, really knowing that he's basically, the next one to go. And so he's doing his thing to make himself look very important, which is very, very smart on his part. So he's trying to make good with all these people so that, they find him indispensable because, he's the doctor. He can help. So he's throwing that around, which if I was him, I'd be doing the exact same thing. One of the guys in his tribe, though, isn't falling for it. He's kind of pretending to fall for it, but he's not really falling for it. And it's interesting because this guy has been in since the beginning, obviously. And I honestly couldn't tell you his name. Off the top of my head, I don't know his name. He's made such little impression on me thus far that I don't know his name. And he even went out and found an idol. He went out at the beginning because he said he wanted to make sure it stayed away from Peter, and he found an idol. Now, he's the first one to actually find an idol by using a key, which is, I guess, good because it means the key is worth something. It's like I said, it's very interesting. Where am I going here? It's very interesting because there's all these rules surrounding the idol, and I've talked about this before. Apparently, you can't move the box. You can't, all this stuff that you can't do that I was like, well, why didn't they just do this? Well, it's because they can't just do that stuff. But I don't know, you can't move the locked box, but you're allowed to not utilize the tool to go ahead and get the idol. Yeah, I just don't understand what they deem acceptable and what they deem unacceptable. There's so many things about the show that I wish I knew all the rules on because, like today, I'm going to talk about, God dang it, in a minute I'm going to talk about more stuff that I don't know the answer to that I'd really like to know the answer to. But moving on anyway, he ends up finding an idol. Great, he gets this idol. He is now one of 3 people in the game that have an idol. So flash away from that pretty quickly, and we go to the tribes all getting together, getting ready for their reward challenge. But guess what? It's not a reward challenge. It's a merge! Which I find shocking that everybody finds it so shocking that there is a merge. That's what baffles me about this show. Everybody was like, I did not expect that to come. I had no idea. How the hell did you not know you were going to merge either today or at the next one? Because you got the beauty tribe, the Brawn tribe is down to 3 members. You can't, the lowest I've ever seen them take, I can't say that. I've seen them take it down to 1 teammate before, and then they put that 1 teammate on somebody else's team. I've seen that once. I've seen them on a couple occasions, I believe, put people onto a team, bring it down to 2. I think that was with Malcolm and Debbie. They brought it down to 2, and then they split them up between the 2 remaining tribes. It didn't actually do a merge until later. I guess it was. So I stand corrected. It wasn't a merge. It was a re-tribe swap. So I don't quite understand why they didn't expect this to be coming. So people baffle me with their, I had no idea this was coming. Well, why the hell not? You're an idiot if you didn't plan that this might be happening today. But either way, that's something I find interesting about the dynamic of people in there. But this one comes with a twist because not only did they do this tribe swap and people were so shocked about something they shouldn't have been, they had always planned on doing it today, but they planned on doing it with 7 people. Look, I'm in civilization. Psst, don't tell anybody. I was never here. I'm coming to pick something up. They did it with all these people, or they planned on doing it with 7 people per team so that there would be 14 left and there were 7 and 7 when they split up. Now, this didn't happen because Caleb got airlifted out of there. So therefore, they're down to 13 people, but they still wanted to do the merge. And what they're going to do is something pretty cool. I like it. They are splitting it up to the point where they're putting 6 and 6 by drawing buffs. 6 people go to one team, 6 people go to the other team, and then one person is left out, and that person ends up going off by themselves to one of the old camps and has to survive on their own through the next tribal council, and they will come back in and take the place of the person who gets voted out of the game. So it's kind of interesting because it's an advantage and a disadvantage at this point. Well, it's always an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is you are not up for elimination. You are automatically safe from the next elimination because you won't be at tribal council. So that's a huge advantage. The disadvantage is the fact that you don't get much of an opportunity to meet this new tribe and get known by the new tribe. Now, this is a whole different circumstance, however, than when this happens at the beginning, because some of them, when they do like the Exile Island stuff, or some of the sending somebody off to, when they win, they make somebody go to Exile. That's what I meant, Exile Island. They'll make somebody go over to Exile Island. And when that happens super early on in the game and you don't get to know that person yet, that person is tended to be voted out earlier because they didn't get to make those bonds. So this person at this stage in the game is already going to have those bonds with at least a group of people, however. So it's interesting because I'm not sure how much it's got a negative impact as much as it does a positive impact. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to end up turning out. And what happens is Julie ends up being the one who is outcast by herself. And when she goes by herself, she's a little bit worried about it. I think it's really good for her. I didn't realize until I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff, though, that Julia's only 18. Like, she looks way older than an 18-year-old playing this game. So it's kind of interesting because I didn't know that she was so young. But either way, Julia is the one that gets outcast. And the way the tribe split is it ends up being on one team, you end up with a good even split. 2 beauty, 2 brawn, 2 other one, beast, no, not beast, beauty, brawn, and brains. 2 beauty, 2 brawn, 2 brains on one tribe. So that one's got a nice even match. The other one, on the other hand, has 3 brains, 2 beauty, and 1 brawn. So that one's going to be in for a little bit of trouble. And I will tell you, I am happy to say that Scott has to be the odd man out, because after last week, I am not a fan of Scott. I think he's an asshole, and I do not want to see him succeed or do well, because he came across as such an asshole to me, not even in the Richard Hens type of way. Richard Hens at least went into the game knowing he was the asshole, doing everything horribly to stir people up, make them all crazy all the time. Whereas Scott, I think, thinks he's like the nicest guy in the world who's just there to help everybody out. And Alicia, goddamn her for not seeing that he was trying to help her the whole time. Go, shut the frick up. You're a dick, and I don't want to see you succeed anymore. Jason, I kind of feel the same way about, but he's over on his tribe with their other member, Sydney. So they ended up getting together, but Scott is all by himself, and I am glad to see Scott all by himself. Except for Scott ends up getting into bromance with Ty. And I love Ty, and Ty's doing everything he can over there because he wants to get to know all the new people and make sure that he's safe in the game. So he shows the good work ethic, and Scott even says he's got like a man crush on Ty, and it makes me sad because I love Ty, and I don't want to see him get mixed up with an asshole like Scott. But anyways, that's the way it all ends up working out over on that tribe. So in the episode so far, I'm recapping it pretty quickly because a lot of this stuff is just, getting you guys up to speed. They, basically somebody from the original Brains tribe, and I'm not sure what tribe they are. They're on the one that's an even split, but they found a new idol. So you got a new idol in play. You've got the merge happening, Julia all by herself, and a challenge about to happen. So the whole time they go to the challenge, and I'm sitting there thinking that they are going to bring Julia at least there for the challenge so she can see what happens. But no, man, she's got to stay all by herself the whole time. Like, she literally is going to get like at least 3 days of alone time just to kind of fend for herself. She will be alone, and I think, like I said, I still think it's a good thing for her, though she doesn't get to bond with her new tribe, but she is going to know some people. And I'm interested to see what dynamic this has in the next episode when, you know, she comes and joins her tribe that ends up losing the challenge and has to vote somebody out. I don't know. But either way, over right before the challenge, when it's showing some of the dynamics of the tribe that has 3 brains is a little concerned because you got Scott, who's the odd man out on the Brawn tribe. I don't think he's as worried about being voted out first, actually. He ended up in a much better position than I thought he would because it's 3 brains, 1 brawn, and 2 beauty, and they are going to want the numbers to swing their way, so the earlier they can try to get rid of one of the beauties, they're going to try to get rid of one of the beauties. So Anna and Ty are the 2 people over there, and they are trying to, like, basically plead their case without pleading their case. Ty does it by showing how good of a person he is and how he's strong and he can go, you know, he can do the fishing, he can do all this stuff that other people can't do. Whereas Anna, on the other hand, tries the complete opposite way, and she just tries to throw Ty under the bus and say, like, what a jerk he is. Not really what a jerk he is. What a conniving person he is because he tried to, like, sneak off and find idols and things like that. I think the same thing happened last season with one of the merges, but the outcome may have been a little bit different. It was kind of interesting. So either way, Anna's trying to throw Ty under the bus. Ty's just trying to show that he's a good person. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but they go to this challenge. Challenge is about getting out of the water and getting these fish pieces. Oh, that's a boat. Getting these, like, fish pieces and making this fish puzzle. The fish puzzle was actually looked pretty hard because it was 2 layers, but I still think it was kind of an easy puzzle. And nobody seemed to have that big of a problem with it. Oh, I took my bet over there, didn't I? When all was said and done, though, it really didn't take them that crazy of a length of time to actually, like, complete the puzzle. But unfortunately, the team that had Ty on it ends up losing. So they're behind, they lose. They're going to have to go to tribal council, which this causes some very interesting discussions by the tribe, because not only do they have to think about at this point who they're getting rid of, but they also got to keep in mind that whoever they get rid of, they're not going to be down in numbers total because they're going to end up with 6 because Julia is going to come back over to their tribe. Keep in mind, Julia was on the beauty tribe. So all of a sudden you have Julia coming back in from the beauty tribe to a tribe that is currently consisting of 3 brains, 2 beauty, and 1 brawn. So the logical thing to happen at this point is that I got rid of all my cobble. That was dumb. Is that the brain tribe needs to keep their numbers. They need to get rid of one of the beauties, because if they don't get rid of one of the beauties and they decide to get rid of Scott instead, Julia comes back and you end up having 3 beauty and 3 brains on the tribe. Whereas if you can get rid of one of the beauties now, she comes back, you still have the numbers because you got 3 brains, 1 brawn, and only 2 beauty. Now the question is, who are they going to get rid of? The nice thing is they think Scott's a swing on their side. Ty has swung Scott over to their way. Scott's kind of like gets to make the choice right here. He is the person who is kind of in the best position, even though I hoped he was in the worst position. He ends up being, like, in the best position, which makes me sad. So he gets to kind of play the swing vote on what's going to happen. And they're talking about getting rid of somebody on the brains. So can they pull that off? Can they get the 2 beauties together with Scott to get rid of Peter? They're actually gunning after Peter, which is kind of funny because the other, his old team is gunning after him as well. So they're kind of playing on, they know somehow that, Peter was on the, the bottom side of their tribe. So they're trying to work that angle too. But how did I not get any of this dirt? It all fell right next to me. Not much, though. And Ty decides that he's going to show off the fact that he has the idol to try to build some faith with his new team and to show that, like, he means business. So he not only shows it to Scott, but he shows it to Anna as well. And he says, look, we don't know who they're going after. It's going to be one of us. Let's figure out what we think is going to happen, and let's use this idol to make sure that we have a better chance at this game because if we don't do that, then we're going to be down in the numbers. So they have this plan for somehow they are going to get rid of Somehow they're going to get rid of one of the people on their... Come on. One of the people on the Brains tribe by sticking together and utilizing this idol. So this discussion goes on for a while. It seems like a really good strategy. And then Scott kind of realizes that Ty is okay. That they're gunning for Anna, not Ty. Because originally they were talking about gunning for Anna. For Ty. So Ty was going to kind of protect himself. When Scott realizes that... Shoot. You go there. When Scott realizes that Ty is actually okay and that they're kind of going for Anna because they were trying to loop him into their side, he tells Ty to save the idol, man. Save it for yourself for later, and things are going to work out much better in the long run. So, he basically convinces Ty to not use the idol, and they go to tribal council. And at this point, Anna's pretty convinced that Ty's going to use the idol for her. They go to tribal council, everybody talks, and this is an extremely controversial move when all is said and done. They ask if anybody's going to, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and wants to play it, is anybody going to play it? Ty actually, it's great. Ty makes a statement in the middle of the tribal council that he's not 100% certain that there's an immunity idol that's actually out there, that there's been discussion and he's not sure one exists, even though Ty's one of the people that has it and he's shown it to 3 people. It was a really good play on his part because I think people bought it. And I want this to be more flat. Why is this so bad? And when all is said and done, he does not end up using his idol at tribal council. It very easily people could have gone for Ty instead. They could have gone for Ty, but they had gone for Anna, which was lucky for Ty because I think he really, really got lucky that they decided not to go for him. But Anna ends up going home. And now, this is where I have a question. And this is that thing that I was talking about earlier that I really don't understand. If they voted out Anna was determined that Ty was going to use the idol for her. He did not. So, what stops Anna as she's walking out to not say, Ty, why didn't you use your idol for me like you promised? Or say something along those lines. People have often gotten voted out, and they've called other people out on their way out, and it's been a thing that they've allowed to happen in the show. Sometimes they even have one season where they let everybody after they got voted out, like, have final thoughts. Like anything you want to say before you leave, and then stop and say stuff. I'm trying to figure out if is there a rule that didn't let her say anything? Did she actually not become, a bitch and kind of realize that, okay, her time is done, don't ruin somebody else's game? I really want to know what's behind that. I was literally watching the show, and right when they started reading the votes, I said, she's gonna rat him out. She's gonna rat him out as she is leaving. And Julia was like, are they allowed to do that? And I'm like, they've done it in the past. Like, I don't know what would stop them from doing it now since they've done this in the past, but that didn't happen. So maybe you guys can tell me, if somebody is voted out of the game, are there new rules that have gone into place that they're not allowed to say anything? Do you think Anna didn't say anything because she actually wants to make sure that Ty has a chance to win the game? Was she told she's not allowed to? Maybe she did, and they had to cut it out. And Jeff Probst did that thing, and he was like, the jury will stricken this from the record. And all of a sudden, everybody forgot. Because obviously, when you say that it's stricken from the record, nobody will remember it ever again. Like, that's just the way that it is. Why can't I? Oh, I really wanted this well to actually have flat water in it. There's one spot in here that's not a true source block. I can feel it. Well, I guess this well is going to be one of those weird moving wells. I'm making the well for this tribe. Like, they can't drink that water. They have to drink this well. And I'm going to go after these zombies because I don't know where they're at and they're really loud. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. So basically, all in all, the episode was pretty good. It was a little lacking in action because it's kind of like at the beginning now. They, you go back to a point where you got new tribes. You got to get everybody to get to know each other, show what the dynamic and everything is, which is cool. It's entertaining, but it just leaves for less challenge type stuff to happen, and therefore more, just kind of administrative stuff. It's almost like being a manager at that point. It's more administrative than it is, actually doing work anymore. So I hope I didn't leave anything out, but I am really curious on what's going to happen when Julie comes back, because whoa. Julie's going to come back and kind of change this dynamic. So basically, Ty kind of allowed, oh my god, I'm going to die. Ty kind of allowed a beauty to get voted out, because he's kind of looking at more long term. And it's kind of harsh that a beauty got voted out, because you wanted to keep those numbers strong, and you're still going to be short, which is the sad thing. And that's why I'm really trying to wrap my head around if this was the right decision. I've read a lot of articles since this episode went out, and a lot of people are saying that they feel that he made the right decision. I am not so certain. I think Ty actually made a mistake. Hear me out. Because if Ty had played the idol, yes, he does not have an idol anymore, but he's got Anna staying, somebody on the Brain tribe going, most likely Peter. The Brain tribe now only has 2 people. The Beauty tribe now has 3 people. They also have Scott. They've kind of sucked Scott into their numbers. You just controlled that side of the game. Granted, you don't have an idol anymore, but you just controlled that side of the game. There's going to be another merge again soon, when actually everybody does merge. So I don't know how long it's going to be one of those cases where it's going to really help them out. But what did Ty essentially do now? He saved himself for another vote. The next vote, he's going to have 3 brains against 2 beauty and Scott. Maybe they're even. It all depends on what Scott, like if Scott really does stick with them until the end or not. He could, which might help. It'll even things out, but it still doesn't get you safe. Granted, Ty's got a shoot. That sucked. Ty's got a an idol still that he can use, so that's helpful. But is it helpful enough, I guess, is the question. And I don't know. I really think they should have taken control of the game and gotten the numbers now. Oh, this skeleton. I'm just going to run through. See if I can get somewhere and block up. There we go. Oh, I didn't get my... Shoot. Hi, buddy. There, got him. So I think he should have taken control of the game then and not waited. So I know I'm in the minority on this one, based on just what I've read and what I've seen. But I really think he should have used the idol. And not because I want him to save Anna. I don't think Anna's somebody good that you want to take to the end. I think Anna will not hesitate to stab you in the back. And it's good that she's gone from that perspective. But from the perspective of actually gaining the best possible position in the game that you can gain, I'm not sure that not playing the idol was the best choice for that. But maybe I'm wrong. You guys can tell me in the comments below if you think differently. So either way, it was cool. There's 2 different tribes now. Ty's still in the game. I love it. He still has his idol, which moving forward, despite whether I think his decision was the right decision or the wrong decision, he still has his idol moving forward. So he is going to be saved for another, hopefully, couple tribal councils, and that is going to be fantastic. I don't want to see Ty get together with Scott, though, as his, sole ally, because Scott's such a jerk and an asshole. I want to see Scott get sent home. So it'll be... Whoa, that hit hard. It'll be really interesting to see what happens moving forward with, Julie and things like that. See, I think Ty and Julia need to get together. Oh, we make a cute little couple. No, I'm just kidding. They need to get together and form a bond, an alliance. Maybe take Scott with them and then cut Scott right there at the third. That last person in the game, cut him the frick out of there. Though I think if Scott joins back up with the rest of his tribe, I think that they're going to try to try to run the game. The 3 Brawn, I have a feeling those 3 Brawn are going to make it to the end. And that's not what I want to see happen. I'd be okay with seeing it at Sydney, but not the other 2. And that's what I do feel like is going to happen. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time.